Thanks, Joe. Let's go back to Marty for a second. Marty, off-road racing, especially short course racing, man, there are a lot of people in the construction industry. A lot of money, a lot of construction, obviously pickup trucks, trailers,
Yeah.
tools. That seems to be a really good focus and start for drivers who are looking for sponsors, is to focus on the demographic of the fans and the enthusiasts. So those seem to be the obvious brands to target. Are there any advice you have that you've seen over the years? Because you've been much more than a promoter. You're also a racer, you're a writer,
Yeah.
you publish magazines,
I
you've done
think,
a lot.
yeah, Alex, I think that you're right. I mean, I think that's the one thing that collectively, potentially, I think there's a greater awareness of the demographic, probably thanks in large measure to the side-by-sides, or these non-endemic companies are starting to look at this lifestyle brand. So in the case of desert racing, for sure, which has been 4 decades since the beginning of it, all starting in Baja in 1967, construction, blue collar, plumbers, carpenters, the McMillan, all the way up to McMillan Realty building, half of San Diego, right? The McMillans, got their fortune through construction. That's been the case forever. In the Midwest, it's a little bit different. It is construction, but it's also more logging, more that type of people. Still blue collar, but that demographic specifically is different in terms that they use their side-by-sides for fishing and hunting and ice fishing and around their properties and on their farms. It's different, but they're still outdoors people. They're just
outdoors,
different. But there's this commonality of the everyday man, the blue collar guy, the guy who's got a pickup truck, the guy who has a fifth wheel, that probably has a side-by-side, has a boat. They're all kind of the same mentality in a lot of ways, for sure. And especially on the racing side, and on the fan side, in at least in the Midwest, there's a lot of actual fans. There's actually fans of short course that just love coming to the races and spending a weekend to watch the races. They know the drivers. It's a little bit different, but I think Jim can speak to this too, though.
And they also, though, the fans make annual reunions out of Crandon Labor Day. I mean, families have been going there for 4
generations now. We're 56 years old this year, so it's quite the long-term thing. We're already we'll be sold out again. We always are Labor Day. It's one of the best parts of the whole thing, is seeing grandfathers watching their grandkids say hi to their racers they knew, or the younger ones, and it's this constant stream. And we're seeing also, what's great about short courses now is that it's turning itself into where the big fast desert guys are coming from. The Christopher Povardis, right? The Brock Hagers, who's now making a huge impact at the Dakar Rally right now. Those guys all came from short course racing, and they're actually putting these teams are putting these guys in, like Bryce Menzies did, to actually qualify their truck, in Povardi's case, for the Baja 1000, because they're just faster in the short course. So There's some crossover happening now too, which is exciting to see. But I think that the one thing that none of us in off-road racing ever worry about is the demographic aging out, the demographic becoming gray, the demographic becoming NHRA or even NASCAR to an extent. They're just not. Yes, those stalwarts, once they go, they're addicted to it, but it's always fed by youth and trophy carts to side-by-sides, youth classes. It's part of the magic of off-road racing that I think that every sponsor I deal with now is starting to understand more, that's true.